Every time. I think I
said
still have parking tickets back in Iowa City.
My dad used to get so pissed.
Yeah.
Oh, Christopher, I mean, I could have got you a personal chauffeur by now with all the tickets you're making me pay here. Oh, baby, what's up? It's episode 315, Chris Simms Unbuttoned, presented by Under Armour. I'm here with my man, Paulie B, who's looking dapper as usual.
How you doing?
What's up, big guy? How are you?
I had a little thing on the drive in today.
Right.
I had something happen. I'm like, I got to bring this up with Chris.
Oh, I like it.
November 17th.
I'm perked up. Right.
Christmas carols.
Christmas carols?
Yeah. On November
Negative
17th.
Ghost Rider.
Exactly.
Negative Ghost.
I'm a huge holiday theme kind of guy.
Right.
Love it.
Right.
But I mean, not November 17th, right?
Absolutely not.
Post Thanksgiving.
The day after, go.
Maybe even that night.
Go time.
But today,
after you eat the dinner,
like,
you're good.
No, I changed it.
Good.
Yeah.
So wait, you were going to go do Christmas caroling?
No. So I'm driving into work.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you changed. It was on the radio.
I was trying to get my podcast to work, and for some reason wasn't working. So I'm like, okay, just go radio.
Yeah.
First station,
Yeah.
Christmas carols. And I'm like, okay, it's before Thanksgiving. No, can't do it. Changed it.
Yeah, good for you.
That was the right
good
move?
For you. That's the right move. You got to draw a line in the sand somewhere there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, what is the rush with all this stuff?
I don't know.
I don't get that lately
know.
either. I mean, they're giving it's Halloween. They're trying to sell Halloween stuff August 29th now. It's just like, what the f- is going on?
Do you do any of the grocery shopping at your house? Because all the grocery stores are like decked out.
Right.
Holiday.
I don't do any of it.
Okay.
I don't. That's the wife's department there.
I'll send you pictures.
So, yeah, please send me pictures. Let me know. But I am seeing, like, some Christmas lights here and there.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, again, I'm not going to be mad at a little festiveness, but I'm also like, no, you shouldn't be able to turn on the Christmas lights till Thanksgiving dinner's done.
It's a little aggressive mid-November.
Like, I wanted to do that this year. I wanted to have Thanksgiving at my house.
Are you not?
And then we're going to my parents' house.
Okay.
They redid their kitchen, so we're going to go there.
Big Phil cook?
No, my wife cooks, and we buy the groceries, but we're still going to go there and do that. I don't know why, but
And then
we're
you just
doing
take it across state lines.
Yeah, we're going to take it across. I hope there's nothing illegal there.
Might be.
Well, there might be some stuff illegal in my car. But either way, yeah. So we're going there. But one of my things this year was I was kind of going like, let's do Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And then after we eat, I want to bring everybody out and let's turn on the Christmas lights. Like, because
nice
I like
thought.
to do that.
Yeah.
Right. But it's not going to work out that way. So whatever. But I'm with you there.
Very Clark W. Griswold-esque of you.
I'm very
in
Clark
your
W.
aspirations.
I am. I'm known to be Clark W-esque in my family.
Love
I
it.
am. Yes, I will. And that is something I will certainly be watching during the holidays. But that's right. No Christmas.
Thank you.
All right.
Yes.
Before Thanksgiving. Don't want to hear it. And that's like a what the happened to Thanksgiving. Now, this is the What the Happened podcast on a Wednesday. We're going to break it down here today.
Good pivot.
Thank you.
Very good. Yeah. We've got some I was kind of waiting for the Under Armour read, but it's later.
Later.
We're teasing it later.
Yeah, I gave Under Armour their love. They're good.
You did, yeah.
I said we're presented by them, so yeah.
There were a number of games, and it's like we're in sync with what happens on Sunday. Teams present things that just have what the happened Wednesday written all over them.
Right.
On the positive and the negative side.
Definitely.
I don't think there was a game where both were on display more than Cleveland and New England this past weekend.
Yes.
Especially with the Browns offense and the Patriots defense.
Yeah.
A lot of questions raised, some positive, some negative. I think that would be a good place to start.
Yeah, it's a great place to start. I mean, come on. The weekend, we know it was crazy. It's the NFL. It's crazier than ever this year.
Right?
It is. It's crazier than ever.
I think it's because the extra game, players and coaches a little bit, mostly players have this attitude of like, I'm going to have a stretch where it's just not that good, and it's okay.
I think there is something to that. I there's a little bit more wiggle room to relax or whatever. I don't know what it is. I really don't. Of course, the league is so equal. We know there's, that aspect, but I don't remember it being ever like quite this all over the place or getting to this point of the year and not going, wait, we know the 2 or 3 best teams, period.
Correct.
I mean, right now it's kind of like we have 6 or 7 teams that we know are like, I think, a little bit above the rest.
But outside of Green Bay's first game,
right,
in Arizona a little bit last week, all the other really good teams you'd put in there as, okay, maybe Super Bowl, they've had a couple of 3 weeks where they've just stunk.
You're right. You shake their head and you just go, what is there? What is there? Dallas would be another team that I would probably throw in that Green Bay mix there. They had the bad game 2 weeks ago.
A horrible game
but I'm going to give it a little bit of an asterisk because it was Dak Prescott 2 weeks not doing anything, then just coming in cold and playing.
Yeah.
So that's why I'll give that a little bit of a wiggle room there.
Yeah.
Right. But I think to your point, I mean, we saw Green Bay have a stinker, but there was no Aaron Rodgers. So that's
playing,
But I'm with you. I've never been this far into the year where you just go, man, there's not 2 teams that stand out or 3 teams that stand out. There's 6 or 7 that I look at are definitely Super Bowl caliber, can win the Super Bowl. I like it, but it's not like consistent domination on a week-to-week basis. And that's where it's awesome that we're going to talk about this team because, I mean, in the AFC right now, there's no doubt the 2 best teams playing right now the last few weeks are the New England Patriots and the Tennessee Titans. And, of course, they're coached by similar people there. They know how to go to a new game with the appropriate game plan for that week against whatever team they're playing. They manage situational football to a T. And what I mean by that is third downs, red zone defense, special teams, when to call a trick play. All of that is very special, let alone they're all into the basic fundamentals of we're going to hit the right way, we're going to block the right way, we're not going to get a lot of stupid penalties, and that is winning football. And to me, hey, here's the one thing I'll say and with the Patriots, and this is why to me, they're building a dynasty here right now. They're building it. We're watching 2001 Patriots happen right in front of our eyes once again here. It's like the same fucking story. And where the greatness of why one team could be consistently great for 20 years, I think I've come to this realization that they didn't build a roster just to be like, we're going to get a bunch of fucking ass kickers and just be the greatest fucking thing you've ever seen. Bill Belichick went the route with salary cap, free agency, stuff's too equal. I'm going to build a team that has versatility. It's a matchup league. And you see in this year, I think it even says there's some teams where you go, they're a good team, but it's not a good matchup against this team who's lesser than them as a whole. Belichick built a team the last 20 years that's, not maybe high-end superstar talent like the greatest show on turf or the 90s Cowboys or the 80s 49ers. He went, I'm going to build a team that can match up with any style of play, and then I'm a brilliant coach, and I'll figure out, now that I have at least the right pieces to compete, a few things that screw that team over schematically. And to me, that's where he's a genius.
It's such a good formula for what they have offensively with Mac Jones.
Right.
And I hate it when people say, well, it's been easy for him because all that's around him. It's been easier for him than some of the other rookie quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But if you look at the pieces any rookie quarterback would want around him, you'd say, okay, if they had an awesome defense, that'd be a great start.
Right.
Check.
Right.
If they had continuity on the coaching staff with the head coach and the play caller, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Check.
Right.
If they would really commit to running the ball no matter what was happening,
sure.
Okay, we have that.
Sure.
He has all of these things around him.
Yes.
So you talk about what they're building, and it just so happens it's the perfect mix, not to make it easy, but to really give Mac Jones a chance because all the things around him that matter the most, they're really all there.
They're all there.
And the offensive line. I didn't even mention the offensive line.
The offensive line's special. And I think on top of that, he's the guy that we knew or at least thought could handle all the different stuff that New England likes to do.
You and I were speaking well of him in March.
Yes.
Before everybody else
He's a pro quarterback. He's a pro quarterback. He walked into a facility as a pro quarterback, not a rookie that's trying to learn the pro game.
Right.
So that's where he's different. And, as compared to the other rookie quarterbacks too, I know people go, well, he's got the most. But it's funny, like people weren't saying that early in the year, and people weren't necessarily like
when they were 1-3, it didn't look like.
Well, and then when Brady was there in New England that year, it was like he doesn't have enough. That's not enough. I mean, but now Kendrick Bourne and everybody are stars. That's what I don't like about the conversation. I'm going to go, no, I could go through the other rookie quarterbacks and go, I think they got maybe more talent in some of those spots. I mean, he doesn't have a Darryl Mooney and an Allen Robinson. I know that.
Yeah.
But yes, he's got a lot of the other support system. He understands how to manage a game, understands what he is, what they are, and that's why
he's much better himself than people gave him credit for.
Definitely.
I think as well.
He got judge a book by its cover treatment, and how dare you can't pick that guy over this guy. Look at him with his shirt off and not his shirt. All right, well, that didn't mean shit. We know that. So
isn't that amazing how much that came into play, that he didn't look good in his shorts?
It all came into play. Just how he looked in his uniform.
Right.
It was like too many people in San Francisco and Chicago's of the world. They were just, we can't take him. He doesn't look cool in his uniform.
Yeah, right?
Right.
I think we're starting on the other side, though. And
Yes.
you're going to thread a needle here. We're going to learn about what the Patriots did so well defensively in that 45-7 win.
Right.
I'd also like to see about what the Browns struggled with, because this isn't a one-game thing. I know they were good last week.
Yeah.
But you look at the last month, their offense has really struggled. So we'll see what they did poorly against New England, and also maybe tied into what's not going well there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, listen, the Patriots defense, in my opinion, I know it's statistically top 5, 6, 7, somewhere in that category. It doesn't matter. To me, it's one of the 2 or 3 best defenses in football. You know, they're not going to win like the total yards best defense, because like Belichick's smart. He's not going to like go for the kill always. There's going to be some downs and distances and formations where he's going to go, well, they have a few plays that could really gash us if I try to be aggressive. So maybe I'll just give them the 5-yard completion here, and they'll get the first down to play the bigger picture of the game instead of let me getting up a 60-yard bomb because I want to cut their heads off right now and dominate and not let them get any yards. He doesn't let his emotions get the best of him. Yeah. So he'll play a little bend, don't break at times, even though you'd go, well, you could probably smash them, but he's not going to do that. He's not going to let the game or a play get out of control.
And they have a number of stats on their side that represent what they're doing well, but I think the biggest one to me is that they're lining up quarterbacks who are playing lesser than what they normally play against the Patriots.
Yeah, that's what they do
every week.
That's what they do. You know, the first thing, and you know, let's throw it up here. The first play. The one thing about New England is, you know, they're extremely well coached. No matter what you watch on film, there's a little something different when you get out there. They change it up where you're going, oh, damn, they didn't play it this way last week. And so you don't ever know what to expect. And then the thing that I'll always say, and I'm going to make the point here in a little bit about this, is, you know, yeah, they got some good cover guys, but New England is such a bigger team than people realize. And that's been a thing for the last 20 years. You know, I think I've told you that before about how many teams play them, and just we didn't realize how big they were and how physical. We kind of, you know, took that for granted. Yeah, well, it's Bill Belichick. He believes in that New York Giants style of football. They go, big guys don't get smaller during the year. Mm-hmm. That's their thing. Big guys just keep getting bigger, and they don't get as worn down. That's his motto. And then, you know, he would say probably about small teams, well, small teams, fast teams, they get slower as the year's going on. They do get worn down. And that's why he believes in that. And when you get out in the field, and I can speak to experience, I can still remember the first time I got in the field in 2005 against the Patriots. And I got underneath the center, and I just went, oh, my gosh, they're big. Holy crap. Willie McGinnis, a 270 outside linebacker. Roosevelt Colvin, 255, the other outside linebacker. Of course, Seymour, Wilfork, Teddy Bruschi. I can't remember the other middle linebacker, but the field seems shorter once you get on the field. Passing lanes, all of a sudden you drop back and you go, whoa, that's a really tight window to throw a slant into. And that's what I think catches people by surprise sometimes, because you watch film all week and you go, they're not super talented. We should be able to move the ball on them.
So Baker, as you stand up here and walk to the screen, Baker did have his worst game of the season. Statistically, they only scored 7 points. So our first example, the interception here, early second quarter. Game's still close at this point, tied at 7.
7-7.
Third down,
quarter.
7.
I mean, both teams have only had the ball one time to this point. Browns, long touchdown drive. Patriots, long touchdown drive, quarter over.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how it went. Now, here's the first thing I'll say about Cleveland, what I don't like. Run the ball great on the first drive, and you've heard me say this, I think, the last few weeks. They run the ball great on the first drive. What do they come out and do? Let's get in the shotgun and pass. As 6 out of the 8 next plays, even though they ran it well, are going to be shotgun or empty, which I don't like. And again, this is not what they're good at. And Paula, you've heard me say, when they have to rely on their pass game, it's less than.
Yeah.
It's less than. So here we go. We got New England. It's a 3rd and 7. They got you right where they want you. They love a good old 3rd and 7 because it's just a screw you over special.
Looks like man coverage at the snap.
Right. Looks like a man coverage, right? Right now, and you know, I know we can't see everybody, but yeah, it looks like you're going to get man and man and man up here and man up here. And it looks like there's a safety back here in McCourty, and here's the other safety. So right now, Baker Mayfield's looking at it and go, oh, okay, it looks like I got man. They play a good amount of man on 3rd down, so that makes sense, all right? So now the problem is he gets the snap, and look at where his eyes go. Look at where his eyes go. Because he thinks he's got man. He thinks he's got man, and you could see, just watch Baker's eyes. Gets the snap right to Njoku. Because man, he's got Njoku, as we're going to show in a second, on a 10-yard out. And he goes, that's what I want. We're going to clear this guy out, and I'm going to hit him on the out route. Well, the first thing I would say is Baker's wrong to be looking there right at the snap. You got to get back and look at the safeties. You got to get the ball and get one more look at the safeties against a team like the Patriots, because it's going to change. And you could see here, look, here's the safety that we thought was going to be in the middle of the field. He's going over here. McCourty's coming over here to play almost a two deep. And what they're doing is they're going to end up playing quarters over here. It's going to be quarters, okay? And you're going to have all these guys right here looking for crossers and underneath coverage. And then on this side, it's going to be cover two, all right? Cover two, and it's like a two-carry principle. So if this guy stays vertical, right, because they have the middle linebacker kind of looking for crosses over the middle, he's going to carry him vertically. If it ended up going flat and slant, then the corner would take the flat, and he'll be looking for somebody to come inside to his area. But as long as this guy goes vertical, he's going to carry him, all right? So now here we go as the play goes, and you can see how it's unfolding, right? You'll be able to see. I know you can't see it all, but trust me, McCourty's over here playing a deep safety. Adrian Phillips is over here kind of playing a quarters. You're going to see him enter the screen again. And you can see up here, this is not a cover two look that J.C. Jackson's getting. He's kind of playing like a man because it's a quarters coverage, all right? So there you got that, all right? Here's another great thing about the Patriots. Look at Judon. Matt Judon, he gets a hit on the third receiver over here before he rushes. That messes up the timing of plays. New England's the master at that. You know, you look and you go, one, wait, he's not open. Two, and you're like, wait, two's only 2 yards down the field, and you don't even give him enough time, and all of a sudden you're on three when you shouldn't be on three, and they mess up your timing and rhythm that way. That's where they're great. And now as we go here, you know, first thing we got to show is nice little creative four-man rush. Dante Hightower, yeah, he's coming up there. They're pushing the pocket, typical New England stuff, right? But because Baker never really located the coverage again, you know, what you're going to see here is, not one guy should pick it.
Two.
But it's two guys, right? So you got two guys here who are going to pick it, but he has no idea of the coverage when he's throwing it. He's throwing the ball just assuming it was the coverage he saw before he got the snap. And as we get here, again, there's a cover two corner. You see he's not worried about covering him as he goes down the field because he's got McCourty over here as a cover two safety. You know, so Mills is looking for anybody to break in the flat. And because now it's downfield and J.C. Jackson has carried him, he continues once they get a pass. There's a rule they have. Like once he gets past 10 yards and if he goes out, just take him. Don't worry anymore. All right, so that's what happens there. Baker ends up just serving it up
right
there for Duggar. If Duggar doesn't get it, Jalen Mills is going to get it. And that's the beauty of the New England defense. Combination coverages. See, he's carrying them. He's staying inside leverage because McCourty's going to continue to get wide in case he does look at this go route down there. And he doesn't want him to be able to run some cover two beater down the middle, right? A middle post that beats a lot of people in the cover two coverage defense. So he's going to play that leverage to slow him down. And there you go. You see it. So it's a combination coverage. And like you heard me say, and we've talked about last week, New England, Tennessee, some other teams, they're the best zone defenses in football. They know how to pass people off. They got more rules, and they perfect them all the time.
And presenting something new and different every week. Like
every week.
Baker might not have seen that.
No, he might have saw it 5 weeks ago,
right.
And he goes, well, they don't usually play it to this formation and this personnel. And then Bill goes, well, this week we like it. And they have their reasons of why they like it, and I don't always know those.
So it was tie game there. That was 3rd and 7.
So that makes it 14-7.
And it was 21-7. We pick it up on 1st and 10 now.
Yep, 21-7 now. Let's go to the next play, Kristen or Pete.
5:35 left in the second quarter.
5:35, hey, we're still in empty, and we're throwing the ball. That's all right. Just give up on the run. You know, just $90 million on the offensive line, but let's just give up on it.
This looks like your basic cover three that you learn right away.
Basic cover three. And listen, this is not a groundbreaking one. I would just want to show you how they do some basic coverages. And I get a lot of questions sometimes, mainly from my friends, and I think once or twice with you, like, what do you mean the corners carry the seams in cover 3? I actually had one of my son's coaches ask me the other day. He was trying to, like, explain it to him. All right, so here, they're going to play cover 3. Yeah, you think it's just – cover 3 is when we grew up was just that, right?
Yes.
I mean, that was cover 3.
All 3 of those DBs have a deep third.
Flat, he's curl flat. You got some guys in the middle here, okay? So there you go with that. All right, that's usually what you see with cover 3. And really, cover 3 like that with a good, powerful arm quarterback or anything is like me. If you played cover 3 and I was like, oh, hey, I'm going to.
That's what you want.
If we run a seam route and a seam route here, I'm just going to look this safety wherever way he wants to go, and I'm going to kill that seam and crush it.
There's not much schematically at any level that if you see your basic cover 3 that you can't run.
There's a lot of things that certainly can expose
Most quarterbacks
it if you
love
don't
that
coach it the right way. Yeah, if you don't coach it the right way or know kind of what you're going to get and what they go to in these. So, but Bill Belichick, first off, again, back to the Giants days and practice with them and, early Patriots days, like my dad and the Giants were the best seam-throwing team in football. And that, to me, is where I believe the evolution of this came, because it was like, wait, we can't just let the 2 inside receivers run vertical. We don't get hands on them, and the corners are outside worrying about maybe a guy that doesn't even run a vertical route or whatever.
Because at that point, the free safety can't win.
He can't win. It's just too much.
If those seams, one from either side, gets past the linebackers, whoever is kind of bumping them right away.
No doubt.
If he picks one, the other side's open.
No doubt.
He goes the other side, the other one's open.
You can't be right. As long as you're right.
Free safety can't be right.
Free safety can't be right, 100%. As long as you got a quarterback who knows how to look him off or bring him to where he's going, however you want to say that. All right, so here's the play. Hitch route, seam route. Jarvis Landry is the third option here. There's a little like jerk option route, seam route, hitch route. First off, New England is the master of the seam hitch. Brady made a career living off of this. A career living. They look at this concept anytime there's a single safety defense. They'll have this type of stuff. Here's your first read, Tom. Play seam to hitch, and then they'll have like certain route combinations coming back into the screen so he could go, wait, seam didn't like it. Oh, wait, hitch. Okay, now I got an in-cut coming and blah, blah, blah. And that's how they played offense. So nobody knows how to stop this stuff better than New England. All right, and then what New England's going to do with this is here's what I mean with corners. They have the seam. Yes, it's cover 3, but as you're going to see here, they steal the seam routes. Jalen Mills and J.C. Jackson, they're very aware.
And that's the new and unique part. That's the twist.
That's the twist, and that's the twist, because within that, okay, so now they're going to steal the seams. They're going to steal the seams. They teach these underneath guys to get out here and stop the short route, the hitch route outside of it. Now, you might say, well, what if they ran 2 verticals, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, well, that's tough. There's no doubt about it if they run 2 verticals. But what he would do is he would try to midpoint them. Yeah, he's in a tough spot. Okay, you might got us.
Yeah.
You got me 2-on-1. But he's going to try to midpoint it and watch the ball and then try to react and make a play. He knows he has the safety there, so he might be erring on, I'm going to watch this, but turn out and do that. But I bet you, again, they never saw anything on film that had 2 verticals. So they were probably like, we like this week. Let's do it. All right? So the other thing that New England's really good at, watch. Hightower gets his hands on Hooper. It slows him down. So now it gives Mills the chance to kind of read it and get in a good position to stop it. Adrian Phillips up here doesn't quite probably get the hands they would like. Maybe they told him not to as much because it's a wide part of the field and it's hard to get out there. But he's going to get underneath it, and here we go. And then added to that, your third option that you think, well, surely he'll be open. He has all these options to go. They're going to have 2 guys bracketing his ass, and he's not going to be able to go anywhere. So let's watch it unfold here. Oops, I don't know why it always goes to fast forward when you just press play on a new play. But, all right, so there we go. You can see Hightower got a piece of him. Look, Jalen Mills, his eyes are inside. He sees it. He's slowly starting to go this way because he knows, okay, wait, I see this guy stopping. This is Hightower's responsibility. I got no more responsibility there. Same thing here. He's looking. He sees. He knows he's got to get out here at some point. He's looking. Maybe doesn't get the hands on him like we talked about. But let's watch it as it continues to go here. And they continue to go. And, again, as a quarterback, you have the option to play either side. They probably said, yeah, whatever you feel is good, comfortable. Go ahead. It's equal 2 routes by 2 routes on each side. So as he goes, he decided to play the top. It's a fullback, or I think it's a fullback here, and he looks like he kind of wants to throw this, but maybe I think he sees Phillips kind of breaking, and he doesn't want it to be a bang-bang close play. I would say really Baker's probably got strong enough arm to kind of put it on him here. But you could see as he's cocking the ball, he's only about 3-4 yards away, and it's going to be close. So he's probably like, screw that. The risk-reward there doesn't make sense to me. And as you can see here now, here's J.C. Jackson. He's starting to get on top of this. He's running inside for the other seam, all right? And now you're in trouble. McCourty's just back here playing eyes. And as we go, you could see Baker, he chickens out on the outside throw there, and I don't mean that in a mean way. I'm just saying, it's scary. I don't know if I'd throw it either. And as we go, now he goes back and he's looking to the middle, and he's going, well, I always have Jarvis Landry here. I always got him, and boom, they got a guy on either side. And so now you're going, oh crap, I got nothing, and that leads to you running around like a chicken with your head cut off, and you go out of bounds and throw the ball away.
Just learned something.
So
I didn't know that corners were playing seams.
I know you had questioned me a few times, once earlier in the year, and I was like, man, I can't wait to show Paul this. So when I saw this, I was like, I'm going to show this, because I get questions about it a lot too, from people who listen, and they don't always get to see us do it. So. But there we've seen some complicated coverages, now a simple coverage that's made coached to a T.
Thought it was, it lines up simple, but they have a little nuance to it that makes it not simple in the execution. Let's go to the third quarter. It's 31-7. This is the play where Baker gets hurt. We're taping this on Wednesday. He said today he does anticipate playing, so it sounds like he'll be okay to play, but this is the play where he went down. Yeah, I mean, again, first off, how they're lined up, right? You don't know what you're getting right now. It looks like we're going to bring everybody, and it's just going to be 5 one-on-ones across the board. I mean, that's what the way they're making it look, like you're just going to have blitz, and one of these guys is going to be responsible for the back over here. You're thinking, I think this is going to be an all-out blitz. I'm not sure. So what does it do here? First off, it confuses the quarterback because he's not sure what exactly he's getting. And then secondly, he's not sure exactly who's blitzing, who's not blitzing, and that's going to cause problems for them here. And as you could see, they got, 6 guys at the line of scrimmage? 7, I believe. It's 7 at the line of scrimmage, all right? And now it's set hut, and watch. They had Juwan Bentley and Hightower take a few steps in to keep the inside guys there. Just for a second, they're going to back out. He's kind of looking for anything inside breaking route. J.C. Jackson's on the outside, okay? As usual, as I told you before, they always get their hands on number 2 and number 3 for the most part. So Van Noy gets a touch on, I believe that's Jarvis Landry there, all right? And, as we go here, you're going to see, so now they rush 3, and they have a guy scotch-free. Man.
Scot-free. I said Scotch.
Scott or Scotch.
Yes, right.
From 7 players on the line of scrimmage to rushing only 3, the beauty in this detail is those 2 in the middle take, as you pointed out, 3 steps in. I mean, that really screws up the offensive line as much as anything here.
No doubt about it. That is the beauty of it, let alone, you want to throw hot and get it out. But, gosh, they got a guy here. He's going, wait, I'm not hot because it's only 3. That doesn't say my rules aren't there. So, he breaks out. He's taking his time running around because he's going, wait, nobody blitzed. I don't need to go hot. And, they have it covered to such an extent. It's like almost comical. I mean, it really is. I mean, as you see here, they got, if you want to run a skinny post, like with the backside guy, Duggar's here to get that. If you want to run an out route, you're going to run it right into J.C. Jackson. And on the front side here, again, this is where New England, they're just so good at knowing what to expect with routes. They got people all over everything, and they've confused you, and they make you look ugly, and, of course, Baker's hurt.
And you get you don't want to see any quarterback get hurt.
No,
but
never.
You get the big hits with only bringing 3. They're blocking 5. It's the confusion because they didn't know what was happening at the snap that allowed that hit on Baker.
100%. It is. It's the disguise. It's the detail. It's having a feel for how they protect things and what their rules are. This will give that an issue, and nobody's better than New England at doing that.
And that's how 3 beats 5.
Yeah.
All right, so Case Keenum comes in.
Very next play.
Next place, third down and 10.
Yeah, very next play. Hey, congratulations, Case Keenum. You get to play against the Patriots.
Third and 10. Good luck.
Bill Belichick, when he knows you have to throw the ball, you're screwed. All right? That's what you are, is you're absolutely freaking screwed in this situation. Just a straight 4-man rush. But I think what I want to show more than anything here is just watch how, again, it's man-to-man, but they understand how they're being attacked in man-to-man. That's where they're really good. And as we get through this here, like, first thing I want to show is Adrian Phillips, the backside of the backfield, you don't even know what he's doing yet. But he's going to get out here and get outside leverage on him, right? He's going to stop that. So if you want to throw the ball in the flat, they got an extra guy in the middle. Look at his eyes, Van Noy. He's looking for any work in case the running back comes out and goes inside. He's going to be there to stop it. Or any other type of shallow crosser. 41, Bryant. It's Bryant, right? I think he gets a little picked by his own guy here. But watch how he kind of knows what to expect as far as the route. He never panics and follows him inside. He almost runs to a spot over here because he's going outside. And I got help in the deep middle. So why am I going to follow him? I know I'm playing man-to-man, but, man, Coach Belichick has told me all the time, remember where your help is. Don't overcommit yourself to a place where you already got help. So he's basically running to the spot. So now you got clear go, number 2 read, number 3 read, number 4 read, and really nobody's open.
Right.
It's hard to pull the trigger right here with this look right here, let alone what's really happening is he's getting smashed already. He's getting smashed by a 4-man rush, and you see here in the middle, again, this is where Christian Barmore, all right, their 2nd-round pick, I said it last week, he's the best pass rusher on their team. Nobody causes more disruption than him. He's really a phenomenal football player. Pushes J.C. Treader right back.
Wow.
So not only are you confused about the coverage and what you're seeing and nobody's open, but then you get to a point where you go, I can't really see because these guys are f***ing big and they're pushing everybody back into my face. And that's the brilliance of the New England defense. They play, not only do they know their rules so well, but they know the other team's offense so well, and they cover themselves for all types of route combinations to where you're not going to screw them. Either way. Look, now he's here. He's realized he's broken out. Look at Benoit. Now he's looking at this guy going, wait, he's coming into my area. And they basically got a 2-on-1 on the underneath back coming out of the backfield. Or that was the tight end, excuse me. And that's why they're the New England Patriots, and that's why they've been winning for 20-something years.
Literally nowhere to go. And
nowhere to go. On
those back-to-back plays, they rush 3 once, they rush 4 the next, and they win against the line, pressure on the quarterback both times.
That's right. And then it's a good O-line.
It's supposed to be, yeah.
It's a good O-line, but I will say they probably haven't played a defensive line as big and as physical as this all year. And they're playing against a guy in Belichick who probably knows the rules of their pass protection as good as they do.
Right.
And that's where he is great. And, and occasionally he'll throw it out we're going to blitz everybody. But keep dropping out, and he'll fool you with a timely all-out blitz too.
We've seen New England's pass defense winning against Cleveland here a few times.
Yeah.
You've mentioned how big they are up front. I'd love to see an example of the rush defense.
Yeah, let's do it. Again, I know I got on Cleveland for not running the ball. I understand hey, this is a tough group to run against, definitely. But you also got to have belief in your own guys. I do think they gave up on their own run game too easily. I do. Like I told you, they got down. This is one of the few plays they get in a running formation here early, and it doesn't work well.
And this is early second quarter. It's only 14-7, so it's still a game.
Right after the pick he threw, and they got the ball back. So here we go. He's got it. And, this is the point I want to make about just New England. And, again, this is a good offensive line. New England last year lacked big people, which was rare for them, and they got run on by some teams. But this year, that's not the case, all right? And this is how I want to make it. Perfect. Thank you, Pete, for throwing that up there. All right, so here's Lawrence Guy right here at the 5 technique, head up on the tackle, 315 pounds. Sam? All right, so there's a 315-pound defensive end. All right, now here's Devon Godshaw in the middle. Okay, Devon Godshaw, 311 pounds, right there in the middle of the field. Okay, so he's playing nose tackle. Now you got Christian Barrymore, the other defensive end, 5 technique, head up on the offensive tackle. And for all those out there going, what's the 5 technique? Well, in New England, they ask their guys to be big and monsters. And they want you to line up on the tackle, head up. And if it's a run play, they want you to stand him up, not go shoot a gap or do anything. Just stand him up and you read the play. And if the run comes over here, throw the freaking guy off and make the tackle. If the run comes over here, throw him the other way and make the tackle.
Sounds easy.
Sounds easy, right. But that's why they believe in monsters. All right, so you got 936 pounds with just 3 linemen.
Good math.
Right?
Yeah.
Thank you. Pretty good. Matt Judon, outside linebacker, 275 pounds. 275 pounds.
It's a big outside backer.
Big outside backer. Bigger than the 2 defensive ends on a 4-3 team for the Cleveland Browns, to make the point. 25 pounds bigger than Jadeveon Clowney, who's a defense end.
Wow.
5 pounds bigger than Myles Garrett, who's their other defense end. So there you go. These are outside linebackers that are bigger than the Browns' defensive ends.
Maybe the size, maybe even more than the production he had in Baltimore, made Bill go out and want to get him.
Definitely.
Yeah.
He's their kind of guy. And,
Yeah.
and Baltimore does a lot of similar stuff to them.
They do.
So that's why they like that. They believe, again, in big people.
Right.
We're going to be the big bullies on the field. And that's why it's been a great rivalry. That's why Baltimore has given them some issues in the playoffs, because they're like, oh, you're big? Well, f you. We are too. Let's have some fun out here. Right? And then you got here Juwan Bentley at 260. Hightower, it says, or Juwan Bentley, 255. Hightower says 260. They must have cut off an arm to be 260. I was up there when they drafted. He had to starve himself to be 270 at weekly weigh-ins. And then you have the small guy, Van Noy, at 250 at weak side outside linebacker. So the point I wanted to make was just that. And then, okay, this is just where they're special, because I told you about what they do, and you just see, look, they just want to hold people up. That's all they want to do. They want to just give you nowhere to go inside. Like, you're not going to double us and go to the second level. They're just making a mosh pit. And then this guy has a cinder block for a head. All right? That's what he has. And I say that with all due respect, because I like watching this guy. This is Joel Bentonio, who's coming around as a pulling guard. And I just want everybody to watch this. All right? I'm going to go just a little further. Here's Joel Bentonio, one of the best guards in football. He is physical and a killer. And look at Juwan Bentley. Take him on as a pulling guard in the hole. Boom. Play over. See you later. You're going the other way. Doesn't make the tackle. Tries to, of course.
Made the initial contact.
But he f***ed the play up.
Yep,
He's not going to get any stats, but there's our definition of he f***ed the play up.
Yeah.
No, 1 yard gain, whoopity-doo. And I'm sure, like, again, Kevin Stefanski sees that. And he's like, man, I don't like the way that looks.
Yeah.
And you want to get away from the run game. You can't get away from the run game. What I want to say when you play the Patriots is when they get in personnel sets like that, you got to get into a passing play. You got to realize, wait, they got a true 3-4 in. They got to pass it. Sometimes they'll get in a 3-4 defense, but they'll have more passing personnel in on defense. That's when you want to run it. And that, to me, is where teams make mistakes. You don't try to run against that front. That's when you do play action or a bootleg at something like that and get them moving, because they're big and not the fastest necessarily.
I have a question I want to throw in here, and I know I have the name right because I've read it a couple times here, Chris. This
Matt
is
the W.
He's been absent. I wish he would come back, but he has been absent. This is from @NeilWatchesPFT. Hey, Chris and Paul, love the pod. A couple weeks back, you said that defense wins championships is dead. The Patriots defense has rocked the whole season.
Oh, I know.
The power run game seems to be catching its stride. Is this an example of a defense that can win a championship?
It is. It is. You're right. I should have qualified that a little bit.
Neil made a note to himself when you said
Neil's
that.
right, and way to go, Neil. You're right. My point shouldn't have been defense, can't win. It still can win championships. I think my point was more that I was just trying to say you can win a championship with an average defense and do it with your offense this day and age in the NFL.
Right.
This approach is rarely taken anymore, but Belichick, of course, can pull it off. And we've seen some other teams who, have been good that way too, where it is through their defense. So listen, I'd say the Rams got to the Super Bowl 3 years ago. It was through their defense.
Right.
They got there through the defense. So I know the Broncos won it in 2015
Correct.
with their defense.
Yeah.
With Seahawks, of course. We saw that, yes. My point was more that offenses can win it now too. But yes, we're going back in the time machine. This is 2001 Patriots football. We're watching the start of a dynasty all over again here, in my opinion.
And instead of Tom Brady, it's Mac Jones. So
Exactly.
let's flip it over to that side.
Yeah.
He had his best game.
Yep.
19 out of 23. Any new takeaways from watching him this week?
Not really. I just think, the thing I continue to see is, of course he's smart. We know that. Knows where to go with the football. Knows what they are as a football team, not going to take any chances, knows his defense is good and they can run the ball. So he doesn't force a lot of things. But the thing I think I like more than anything is just every week we see a few more big-time throws and plays.
Right.
Right. So where you're just going to go, damn, they're dangerous. And if they got to rely on the pass game, they're getting to a point where they're confident in him, and I think he's confident to, okay, I can let it rip around here and make some plays. Yeah.
I felt like a few weeks ago against the Buccaneers, he was super high efficient. He had like 17 or 18 in a row.
Right.
But it was just like this box in front of him where he was throwing, and I feel like that box has kind of expanded a little bit more, as the weeks go on.
100%. They do 100%. It's gotten a little bit more aggressive. I think Hunter Henry's emergence and Kendrick Bourne and Aguilar making a few plays downfield have opened up, and most importantly, their offensive line has gotten healthy. And we're not going to show it here, but they're kicking ass in the run game. Just like we showed last week.
Running the hell out of the
ball. They're running the hell out of it. They really are. And they did in this game. They whooped the crap out of this Browns small defensive line that we talked about, who's got defensive ends that are smaller than the Patriots linebackers.
So this is a 2nd and 5, third quarter. New England gaining control here pretty well, up 24-7.
Yeah, well, like New England, this is a perfect example of like New England knowing what they're going to get, right? And maybe maybe they didn't know that they were going to get this little edge blitzer, for sure, all right, because that's what they are going to get here ultimately. They might have not known that, but either way, what they did know is that it really wasn't going to change the coverage rules, right? Like, within this coverage that they're about to play here, okay, and again, this is where it goes into the Cleveland, in my opinion, is too predictable and how they play, okay? The point I want to make, first off, even if he doesn't blitz, all right, and he plays coverage, and his rule in this one would be to go into the flat, all right? And if he didn't blitz, the back would be in the flat. But instead, he blitzes, and the back picks him up. But either way, they know with the combination they're about to run here, which is basically double post right here, and I'm just telling you, it's all window dressing. It's all window dressing. Like, hey, look down there, but we're not really working this play for this concept. This is something where, we feel like we got a good feel for what coverage they're going to play against, 11 personnel here in this formation, that we're going to get what we want. So they're going to get double post, right? And these guys are kind of going to go, and they're going to match. There's a safety back here in the middle, and they know with the number 3 guy here that they're going to try to cover him with this middle linebacker. This middle linebacker is going to try to cover Hunter Henry from this inside leverage. So, wait, if the Patriots know you're going to play inside leverage coverage, what do you think they're going to do? Oh, run an out route. Right. So, here we go. Like, they get it. Okay. Oh, but I got it wrong. I'm sorry. I got it wrong. I'm wrong with my guy here. Sorry. He blitzes. Okay. He's got to cover. He's got the curl flat area or the flat area if somebody goes. Okay. All right. So within that, all right, I messed that up as far as my guys are concerned. They knew they were going to get an inside leverage type of coverage either way. And he looks down the field. He's not really looking down the field. And he gets Hunter Henry. It's a great throw. Mack Wilson does a great job. But here's where the Browns are not as coached up as the Patriots, and nobody is. But once he sees this guy block and knows Anthony Walker knows the back is not going to get out there, he's got to get back underneath this. And as you'll see as the play goes, you can't really see it in this frame. He kind of hesitated for a second, and that allowed him to, make the throw and get exactly what he wanted here. So,
as much as we give credit to everything around Mac for, again, not easy, but for putting him in a position to succeed, sometimes there's just no defense for the perfect throw.
No.
This is a perfect throw.
Perfect throw. I mean, Mack Wilson does a really good job here, and that's where I messed up. Again, if he doesn't blitz, sorry, he'd be in the flat, and then he'd be the guy trying to cover. It still would have been inside leverage, okay?
Yeah.
So for anybody going, wait, Chris messed up, and he's right. No, I'm not messed up. I messed up with who I got. If he went to the flat, he would be covering him with inside leverage, and you would have saw Hunter Henry maybe move him in a little bit more before he broke out. On this one, he doesn't do that as much because they're trying to cover him with him over here. And that's just not going to work, and the Browns aren't greased up on all their things they do on the defensive side of the ball, let alone, I mean, look at the pocket. Of course, they pick up the blitz the right way, and it's a perfect pocket. 5-man rush, which I absolutely fucking hate. There's no point in it. And boom.
There we go.
Oh, no, we brought a 5th rusher. I don't know. I bet you New England didn't bring many 5-man rushes in this game.
Not from what we saw there.
Of course not.
Another question here, this one from @GM3656. Hey, Chris and Paul, I hear from a lot of sports media that they are unsure if Mac can improve and he's a product of the system. Oh, boy. Isn't this just a way to justify them being low on him in the draft? I think he can be as good as someone like Breeze.
Definitely. It's what he is. That's what I compared him to in the draft. He's a bigger Breeze. That's what he is. Maybe not quite as athletic as Drew was, but to me, see, we haven't seen all his talent. I've seen his talent improve as the year goes on.
Yeah.
He's going to continue to get better. Hey, he's still a rookie. He's still thinking. It's hard to just let it go and let it rip. It's all still new to him. We've seen leaps and bounds. And yes, like, you know, again, I'm going to pat myself on the back here. Like, yeah, some of these evaluators don't want to admit it. Like, yeah, you're not going to be right about everybody. Give it up. I was wrong about Justin Fields. I'm already feeling the heat about it. I know it. The way it's looked, it's been good. It's been better than I expected. He's proved me wrong. I'm really happy for him. It's not it's where this stuff gets too personal to other media people.
I know, right?
And, you know, so that's what I don't like about it at times. And, you know, you're going to be wrong sometimes. You don't have a crystal ball. There's a lot of things that go into this. Of course, as media people that we don't know these guys. We don't get to meet them. We don't always get to see them in person. So it's hard to evaluate. I don't expect to be right about all of it. I'm going to make my points, and I'm glad Justin Fields has proven me wrong to this point. But, yeah, people are still trying to make up excuses here.
Right.
And I just go, well, no. The guy's the real deal. Works the pocket perfect. It's never going to be the sexiest thing you saw on earth. Neither was Tom Brady. But now he's the sexiest thing on earth because, oh, he wins championships. He makes the Gatorade taste better. He coaches the team. He coaches the cheerleaders. And he does everything for us. And now he's the sexiest guy alive. Well, give Mac a few years. He might be too.
It was so easy to stand back and shoot holes in his game if you wanted to because of all the talent he had around him with the playmakers, with the offensive line. Sarkisian was wonderful scheming that thing up last year. And every other quarterback at Alabama's put up big numbers too.
Right.
But if you really watched that intangible, and I thought Joe Burrow had this better than anybody we've evaluated in a while.
Definitely.
Ball went where it was supposed to go. It was accurate. Okay, check. Time and time again. He did that as, you know, probably not as well as Burrow, but after Burrow as well as anybody we've evaluated.
100%.
And the ball got there in more impressive fashion than people wanted to give him credit for.
Definitely. There's still, even though they were a machine and there was a ton of talent around him, there's still a number of plays every game where you went, nobody's open.
Right.
And the protection's not that good. Great move in the pocket.
Yeah.
What a f***ing throw.
That first bowl game he played, I think it was in Florida. It was against Michigan a couple of years ago.
It was Michigan, and Tua got hurt.
Anybody who watched that close, he was like, okay, I know it would have been good with any of their 6 quarterbacks, but it was better with that guy.
I know. And that's what I also didn't like, and it was what got me angry, and it got the Tua Mafia mad at me too. It was just because here I wanted to go, well, Tua had 2 extra first-rounders on his offense, and they weren't as good as when they were with Mac Jones, but for some reason, there was no questions about Tua. Slam dunk.
Right.
But for Mac Jones, we saw him with a picture with his shirt off. There's no way he can be good. He
can't play.
And he looks like a nerd in his uniform, so he can't be good.
Right.
And he wasn't the #1 recruit in the country coming out, so he can't be good.
Yeah.
Right.
So this week, New England at Atlanta coming up tomorrow night, Thursday nights.
A big trouble Atlanta.
Anticipate the Falcons giving them a hard time at all?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
And Thursday night is usually like upset night or the weird shit happens. No, I don't expect it to happen. I mean,
oftentimes one offense shows up, you don't recognize it. It's
I
that's
can't
not how they usually
imagine
play.
like Atlanta slowing down the run game of the Patriots. I can't imagine Atlanta really having success on the offensive side of Atlanta's not that good at running the ball. There's no Calvin Ridley. Cordell Patterson's out. All they got to do is stop Kyle Pitts.
Right.
Yeah, sorry.
Ought to be
big
able to do
trouble.
that, yeah.
I mean, again, New England's not going to just I don't think win 45-7, but would I be surprised if it's like a dominant 27-13 win? Absolutely not.
Then they get into that stretch, and we can talk about that later, but they play Tennessee, they play Buffalo twice, they play the Colts. It's going to be an interesting month, a fun
Definitely
month to watch Patriots.
They won't be outclassed by anybody, and again, I'd like to see them play the Bucs or the Cowboys again right now. The Patriots.
Be fun.
Patriots have confidence in a little mojo now.
A lot of it.
Yeah.
Other side, Cleveland, Detroit. Browns bounce back, right?
Yeah. I could. Baker said he's beat up. That's what Pete's saying in my ear right now. He's going to play, but he's beat up.
Yeah.
I could see this being uncomfortably close.
Detroit can do that to somebody.
Detroit can do that. You're going to run the ball and kind of be simple in the pass game. We got some big dudes and can slow down. You're a small defensive front. Detroit's healthy up front. I mean, they moved the Pittsburgh Steelers around like they were on skates last weekend. You don't think they're going to be able to move around the Cleveland Browns? Now, the Cleveland Browns won't have to worry about much of a passing game, with Jared Goff and company. That does help them out, but I could see that game being uncomfortably close.
Let's go to the NFC. Think about the Eagles. They just beat the Broncos 30-13. Big picture here in the NFC. I think one of the fun things coming down the home stretch is going to be November and December. If you're 2 games under 500, if you're 1 game under 500, if you're at 500, it is on. You are right there to chase the 6th and the 7th playoff spot in the NFC. Didn't think I'd be saying this about the Eagles, but they are right there. 4-6 doesn't look great, but it's arrow up for them right now. And somebody in that group of teams where the record doesn't look very good, someone's going to be there in January.
I agree. They got the potential to be that team. Of course, San Francisco at 4-5, I look at to be that team. And Carolina now with Cam Newton and that defense, and they seem to have, they're taking the Eagles approach too. Like, let's just play through our defense and run the football. And that's what the Eagles have gotten into a little bit. Their defense maybe not as dominant as Carolina, but they're playing the right way on the offensive side of the ball. And as you and I always talk about, like, if you want your team to be at its best or maximized, you got to play through the strengths. And to me, for too long, the Eagles are trying to play the Phillip Rivers Chargers offense with Jalen Hurts, and he ain't Phillip Rivers.
Right.
He's not. So let's not do that. He's a different type of guy, a different type of quarterback. And to me, now they're playing to the strengths of him and their football team more, and that's why we've seen more success on the offensive side of the ball.
We're going to get into film examples here of that 30-13 win at Denver, but I want to kind of kickstart what happened there and kind of what's going on, bigger picture-wise with the Eagles with this question from @Lockdown Cornerback. Can we get a breakdown of how Jalen Hurts' mechanics and decision-making has been in this new-look offense? They seem improved. His style of play right now, plus the deep ball accuracy, reminds me of early career Russell Wilson.
Yeah, sure. Listen, mechanics are not my favorite.
Yeah.
He doesn't always get it. It's a little bit of an elongated motion.
Doesn't throw it as well as Wilson did.
No, definitely not. It is an arm that kind of goes as an independent contractor, as I would like to say. He doesn't use his body all properly the right way, at least in my opinion.
But
he still throws it well. And what they're not asking him to be like Johnny Precision, pick us apart type passer and go 35 for 41 for 380 yards. That's not what he is. I don't know if he'll ever be that. But when you play this way, deep crossers, go routes, things of that nature, yes, he throws a very pretty ball. He's got a good feel. He can launch it down the field and let guys go run under it. And he's got a good feel to wait, it's one-on-one. I'm going to put it in a spot where maybe my guy can get it. And that's where he's good, and that's where he's thriving right now. His passing statistics are nothing special, but when he does get completions, they're for explosive plays right now. And that, again, is going to go into what we're going to show here in a second with the Eagles offense.
Before we see the film, Kristen, let's run that graphic we have on the Eagles rushing game. First 7 games left a lot to be desired. They weren't calling it a lot. They weren't finding a lot of success. The last 3 games, and I know that they absolutely hammered Detroit, so got a little bit skewed there. But they're averaging over 200 yards a game.
Yeah.
In these last 3 games, they're running it a lot. They're running it well, over 60% of the time. And Jalen is doing a nice job. This is certainly helping him, getting going in that direction.
Definitely, exactly right. They're playing to his strengths. They're playing to their team's strengths. I don't know why they weren't doing this earlier.
Right.
I really don't. And hey, like we just talked about, Detroit slowed down some good run offenses this year.
Yeah.
The one thing with the Philadelphia Eagles, Hurts is a gifted runner. He's got a great charisma and leadership about him, never gets affected. But their offensive line has got some ass kickers. I mean, some ass kickers. And they're not even at 100% full strength. I mean, if they were and Brandon Brooks was out there, I'd go, damn, don't ever throw the ball ever again. Just keep running it every play. But, yeah, let's get into it a little bit and kind of show what they've been doing here as of late.
Here we go. We've got a design run for Hurts. First play from scrimmage, 1st and 10 at the Philly 25.
Yeah, there's been more design runs for him as of late, which again, I love.
Like, it's not uncommon now to see him double-digit carries for a game.
Definitely. He's going to have 1 or 2 scrambles where he's going to get a big yards. But more importantly, they're going to design a few runs for him, and it helps out the rest of the run game, and then it also helps out his passing, which I'm going to show you here as we go. So it all plays together a little bit. And, yeah, I think it's, again, what we always say, like, I'm sick of teams drafting these quarterbacks who can run, and then they get them, and they don't run them.
Yeah.
Like, what was the point? I don't understand.
So first play of the game.
First play of the game. First play of the game, you got what I want to show here is an unbalanced line. They got the tight end up here, and they got both Lane Johnson and Mailata over here, all right, with the tight end behind it. So Denver's going, oh, shit, they're going to run the ball over here to those guys. It's 1,000 pounds of people over there. We got to watch out for that. And they're going to give a little run fake to Boston Scott, who's going to go that way. And here we go, got Jalen Hurts going out the back door, all right? So right off the bat, they give you some things to think about where you go, oh, man, all right, wait, it's unbalanced line, tight end's going to kick out here. I mean, look, if he gave the ball, they're going to get yards there too, no doubt about it. But they don't give the ball. Boom, it gives them just enough of an advantage to get out on the edge, and there's the first play of the game for 12 yards.
Easy.
I mean, right off the bat, right.
Made it look easy.
And Denver's not good in run defense. They lack some big people there. So it played right into the psychology of the whole situation.
Okay, so I think it's now next play.
It is.
And on that previous play you saw, and you pointed out, hey, if you give it to the fullback or the running back inside, that works. So here's Boston Scott for 17 yards.
Here's the next play. Boston Scott, 17 yards. We're going to go right up the middle. It's a little inside zone running play, again, but it sets the attitude. And, again, here's the thing. Mailata is a killer. This is Landon Dickerson, center from Alabama. Mm-hmm. He's playing left guard. He's awesome. Kelsey, of course we know he's good. Right guard, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Right tackle, Lane Johnson, all-pro type player. So they got a lot of talent and big people up here. And, Jake Driscoll, thank you, Pete. He gets Jack Driscoll is number 63. All right, so now, again, they're playing with you here. But, I mean, what they do, I mean, just look at, double here, double here, double here. They're just going to push everybody this way. So those guys are screwed, all right? So there's that, all right? You could see here, Driscoll, he gets the inside edge to where now he can't really protect that gap there, all right? So he does a great job of kind of what you would say reach blocking, number 90, all right? So he kind of seals it off there. 56 is a little slow to hesitate. Why? I mean, a little slow to shoot his gun here and get over to this gap here to help out. Why? Well, he just saw Jalen Hurts run this way. He's got to make sure he doesn't have the ball again. He's a little worried about that. He's going, damn, I just saw the guy almost turn the corner for a huge gain on us. All right, so he's kind of slow to react, and he can't get there, and Lane Johnson cuts him off. Maybe got a little hook of the arm there. I understand that. But either way, you could drive a freaking truck through this.
Man,
and
a
boom,
gigantic hole.
A gigantic hole.
Wow.
And that's, to me, again, I'm cherry-picking plays, but I'm trying to give everybody a feel. This is what's been going on in Philadelphia the last 3 weeks.
We all saw the graphic, averaging over 200 yards the last 2 games.
It's the last
3 games.
Last 3 games, right. You go to the Lions game, the Chargers game, and this.
Yep.
They're playing
a lot of that
with their bread and butter here, and that's what I really like.
So with the run game leading the way and doing such a good job, we go later in the first quarter, 3-0. It sets up Hurts, Devontae Smith to do things like this.
Exactly. Well, now, like, Denver's like, damn, all right, we're going to have a hard time stopping them. So they want to, have the 4-down linemen and start blitzing linebackers to fill gaps so they don't just get totally overpowered. And then they're going to play, man coverage with guys on the back end. But this is a direct result of, like, we don't feel good we could stop the run. I've seen a few plays already, and it doesn't look good. So we're going to have to be a little uncomfortable with what we do in coverage. And this is the bind that they've gotten people in lately. You know, a lot of games, like he's got like last 3 games, I bet you passing has been like 11 for 18 for 130, 11 for 18 for 180 something. You know, it's all in that range, but the 11 completions are game-changing type of plays, right? So here we go. Oh, it's that, look at what we got here. The same fake or run that we've seen so far in the previous 2 plays. This is just a few plays later. So there you go. Once again, you could see that Denver's thinking about shooting gaps because they know they're outmanned up there. And, you know, Sirianni, Shane Steichen, they do a great job of doing this, get them out on the edge a little bit in some space. They keep a wide receiver in to help on the tight end so he could stop him from getting around the edge and getting in Jalen Hurts' face. They know they got man-to-man. And they're just going to have Devontae Smith run it out and up the sideline, and Quez Watkins is going to run a deep cross. That's all they're doing. It's two-man route. Two-man route.
Sequences well together because this is a 3rd play we've seen.
Right.
The first play with that play action, Jalen kept it.
Yes.
Second play, he gave it to him.
Right.
So now, I mean, they've got to be aware of both of those things.
Which way is it? Well, who's got it? What's going on
Exact same play action. Now he's going to keep it, you know, in the passing game.
Yeah, plays that look the same that are different. It's pretty. This is what we talk about so much about tying plays together, right?
Yep.
That's where they've gotten good lately. You don't know what's coming, and it all looks kind of similar.
The same.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, here you go. Now, they've reacted to the run. They got 7 guys in blocking.
Nobody near Hurts.
Nobody near.
Yeah.
And now he's got time to let a down-the-field route work. And, again, at this point right now, it's like it's not open. You know, Surtain's doing a great job, but he's just going, I just want him to get even. If he gets even, I'm going to give him a shot, and we'll see where it goes. And, you know, to me, that's where he's gifted. Now, what I don't necessarily like, I mean, again, to answer our listeners' questions, you know, listen, he lets his arm get very long. Like, those are not necessarily a position I always like that right there.
Finishing over a straight leg.
Yeah, straight leg, arm really far away, doesn't get necessarily a lot of shoulder, but he knows who he is. He doesn't overthrow. He's got a good feel, and he makes it work. And then he's got a super freaking wide receiver.
Yeah.
Right. But they got talent at receiver. So if you get them one-on-one, they're going to get open and beat people, make some plays like that. And I think that's what's really cool about the Eagles right now.
We've seen a called run for Jalen. We've seen the handoff inside, the sprint out, and now a called pass, and I believe he's going to make something happen on his own. And
you get this every game. So we're trying to paint the picture for everybody here to what is making the Eagles so good, and this is the other element. So we saw the run, which forces one-on-one. Then we see the pass, which is one-on-ones downfield, and that plays to his hands. Look, Denver's doing the same thing again here. I mean, it's the same thing. It's man-to-man coverage. They got a linebacker in the middle who thinks he's blitzing the back, right? He's really got him covering man-to-man. They're just playing man-free. This guy right here is free in the middle of the field. You know, he's on him. He's on him. He's on him. He's on him. Safety deep in the middle. All right? So that's what we got right there. He's just looking to help anybody out with anything. All right? So the first thing that happens is Kenny Young, who blitzes, he thinks he's going to be blocked by the guy. He still goes out in the route, Jordan Howard. So look, he's going, wait, no, I got to cover him. So I got to go turn and run and go get him. He does that. And you see, they're doing something where they switch this off. Like this guy gets him, and now he tries to stop, I guess, this guy from running the cross route. It's still all man-to-man. They're just kind of playing it away to where they got something specific in their game plan to help out here a little bit. All right? And now guys downfield, but it's man-to-man. And when teams play man-to-man, they're looking at who they got to cover. They're not looking in the backfield to see what the quarterback's doing. And that's where he's got a very good feel. If you play two-man or man against him and a lane pops, he just goes, I'm going. Because this is where it's going to just be me and one other guy or me or nobody. And as we go here, I mean, look, here he is. He's 5 yards down the field. Kenny Young's still worried about his coverage responsibility. Everybody else has run everywhere else. And
Well, Kenny Young does not. I mean,
well, because he doesn't know. Is he scrambling? Whatever.
Yeah.
He doesn't know. He's trying to stay with his coverage. I know. At some point, I'd like you to go, hey, maybe you should turn around. Like, it doesn't look like he's running real aggressively expecting the ball. Maybe you should turn around and see what's going on. I don't necessarily like that. Like, show some instincts there. But, boom. And there's Justin Simmons got to save the day 30 yards down the field.
31-yard run. Yeah.
Right. And that's where they kind of got you right now. So it's not going to be like a ton of points every week playing that way.
That was it. And it's only 4 plays, but I feel like I got a feel for all the things they're doing.
That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're killing in the run game. They got a few wrinkles here and there. He's making some shots in the pass game. And within that simple formula, they're doing something we always talk about, make you defend the whole field.
There you go.
And that, to me, is when you become a pain in the ass on offense.
So that challenge goes to the Saints this week. Our friends at PointsBet going to help us set this one up. Saints and the Eagles. We have Eagles plus 1.5, over 43.5.
Oh,
what do you see there?
So the Eagles are favored by 1.5 at home. It's interesting. It is. Now, I don't think they're going to be able to do some of this stuff as easily that we've seen the last 3 weeks against the Saints.
Number 1 run D in the NFL.
Ass kickers. Creative defensive coordinator, and some guys who can play one-on-one coverage. So that'll be interesting to see how this shows down. Again, let's not forget the Eagles did beat the Saints in Philadelphia last year, and Jalen Hurts made his first start.
There you go.
Against Taysom Hill and company. So, they're a team that will not be out physically killed by the Saints. The Saints usually just beat people into submission with physicality. Eagles will be hanging in there right with them. There's no doubt about that.
Eagles O-line against that front seven of Saints. What do you think?
Special. I mean, I haven't seen anybody push the Saints around yet.
Yeah.
I got to see it to believe it.
Mm-hmm. Over under 136.5. Pete, is that what you said in the ground game?
Ooh.
Again, they're averaging 202 in the last 3 games, but this is the top run defense in the NFL.
It's the top run defense. What's always hard with this type of again, they can run the ball okay, and Jalen Hurts can scramble on one play and get 40 yards like we saw, and all of a sudden you go, well, damn, they only had 70 yards rushing for the day in the early fourth quarter, and now they got 115 because he broke 2 scrambling plays. I'm gonna probably take the under.
You go under?
I am. I think I'm taking the Saints to win that battle.
I'll go over. What's the bet?
Let's bet. We'll figure. Let me think about that. Let's figure that out, though.
Okay.
That might be
We'll
something
sort
good.
it out next
that'll
week.
be interesting to see, though. I really am. I think that's going to be a close football game. I'm actually surprised to see that the Saints are the underdogs. I thought they'd maybe be the 1.5 point favorites. But as I sit here and think about it, too, the Saints don't have a great passing game to necessarily take advantage of this bend, don't break Eagles pass defense either. So that's probably why. But good, interesting, physical NFC matchup here where both teams are, a little desperate, no doubt.
Pete just offered this potential betting point here.
Right.
If you lose, you wear an Iowa jersey to do a pod.
Okay.
Yeah? I've got a couple.
You got a couple? Let me see. I think I got some Texas.
You have Texas jerseys?
I got to check. Let me check. I have one in a frame.
Okay. I don't want to take it out of the frame.
Yeah, I'm not going to take it out of the frame. So you're not worth that.
You don't have one in a box?
I got to look. My little boy's got a bunch of jerseys up in his closet. I think one's a Texas one.
Yeah.
We'll figure that out. Are you doing the podcast with us on Monday?
Pete says no.
All right.
It'll be 2 weeks from now because Thanksgiving next week.
That's right. Crap.
I'll just come to North Jersey with you on Thanksgiving.
Sure, if you want. Yeah.
One more in the car.
Okay, sounds good. I like that. That's
what would
down.
your wife say?
I don't think she'd care.
Big Phil wouldn't mind.
No, not at all. My wife would care less. She'd be like, she's been listening to the pod lately, so she likes you.
For real?
She feels like she knows you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My in-laws might notice I'm not there. The question is, would they prefer I'm not there?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know your in-laws. In-laws can go either way, as we know.
Bringing in all kinds of family issues.
We'll figure out something.
Okay.
We'll figure out a bet either way.
Sounds good. Pete, I appreciate the suggestion. Okay, Bills offense.
Yeah.
Got to revisit the Bills.
Yeah.
Because they were a huge topic last week. I mean, if I'm remembering this correctly, we probably spent more time on them than anybody else, not just for how they failed in one game, but it was like kind of a bit of a pattern happening against Miami too.
Right.
So they bust out 45-17. Josh Allen looks terrific. Got to take a close look at what they did.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you like, oh, man, all the Bills' problems are fixed, but I think it's encouraging. I think that's the thing to look at. one, more variety in what they did on the offensive side of the ball, a little more patience with the run game.
Thank you.
Yes.
We were asking for that.
Tying the run game with the play-action pass, tying plays together. That was a big thing for them, that we talked about, because last week we showed a play-action pass where it was like pass protection, but they were running the play-action fake.
Yeah.
And it's like Jacksonville wasn't buying that at all. So, to me, it gives them a fighting chance. It's better than being in the shotgun play after play after play and not giving the defense anything to think about.
Under center a lot more, Christian. I think we have something.
It's the first thing that jumped out. I text Pete last night, before we talked on the phone. I just said, man, I don't know, but that's got to be the season high for Josh Allen under center, 21 personnel with 2 backs, 1 tight end, all of that. And as you could see, it was way above everything else they've done all year.
Wow. 96% of the run plays were under center. Wow.
Right. And how about 48% of the pass plays?
It only makes your passing game better. I feel like I'm oversimplifying when I ask for that more, but come on.
I agree. Well, there's just more things that the defense has to think about.
The defense is more worried.
Definitely.
Right?
There's more run game possibility when you're under center. When you're in shotgun, you're a little limited to what run plays you can run.
Right.
When you're under center, there's a whole litany of things that could come at you. And then let alone the play-action pass, the bootlegs, everything off that, and you can still do drop-back pass. What's interesting about this game is, to me, what they did here is they came out, they set up the run with play-action pass. They play-action pass, play-action pass, play-action pass, and kind of got the Jets so worried about that then they started to go to the run, going, oh, you're worried about the play-action pass. Look at that linebacker. He's flying down there. We're giving the ball this time. Right. And that kind of got them in a rhythm. It's backwards. That's not usually how it works, but I think I kind of agree with it with what they are. Instead of them just trying to come out and go, we're going to run the ball. That's not what they are. So I thought it was an interesting approach by Brian Daboll and company.
Let's get you up here. Second quarter, late.
Yeah.
Still kind of a game. Buffalo only leading 10-3, first down 15.
Yeah, it is a game. Buffalo's had the ball in New York territory. I think the first 3 drives got the ball on first down in New York territory and only came away with 10 points, to the point where I'm just telling you, again, the offense isn't functioning at the level to where the statistics would tell you.
Yeah.
It's still, and we're going to show here, still very reliant on a guy that's a superstar quarterback and a superstar wide receiver and Stephon Diggs. Now, the one thing I did like about this too is the Bills throughout the game, and this is just also emphasizing that point and something we saw all game long. Again, I'm trying to cherry pick to tell people the story. Like, all you ever hear about the Jets is their corners stink. Corners stink, corners stink, corners stink, corners stink. All right, well, the Bills did a great job of making the game simple and just going, wait, our guy's better than your guy, and this guy's unstoppable, so let's just let him throw the ball and just do it. Yeah. That's where I'll give Brian Daboll a lot of credit. See, a lot of offensive coordinators can't check their ego at the door. They're going, I got to draw up a play that does this and this and this and this, and look at that completion I got. How about just, do this? It's real easy, and you'll have a less stressful week trying to figure out how to find up a 4-yard completion. All right, so here we go. Third quarter, right? One thing that they do a lot, and they've already done it maybe once or twice in this game, is these little play-action passes, little play-action, and he'll just come up and, fake the go route and turn, and he puts it on him, and it's a great first play of the drive. Let's get, in a good position here, 6 yards. All right, so they play off of this. They've already done it before where he's done that, or he ran a little out route, and they hit that. So now it is 1st and 15, and what they're going to do is watch Stephon Diggs here at the bottom. Little stutter, and then he goes. Look, he's throwing up the hand. He's not even buying it. I know, because he's going, oh, I got him to pause, and he's not as fast as me, so he's screwed. All right? And this really kind of jump-started their day from here on out to where they kind of caught fire, got confidence.
Yeah.
Perfect throw down the sideline.
It was.
Diggs goes. But look at the route by Diggs. Great job of just the body language, just a little bit of a stutter.
Just enough.
But it got 26 to slow, stop for a second, look at the quarterback, and boom, there you go. You got Stephon Diggs running down the sideline.
Okay, early third quarter. Now it's 17-3. More Bills passing game, this time to Isaiah McKenzie.
Yeah, well, and this is going to be a run play, all right? And the thing that is cool here is, again, this is something they did throughout the day. They did run the ball downhill, pull guard, right, running up in here between the tackles. They did that a lot. And then, of course, they did it with let's fake the speed sweep, let's pull the guard, and still run it downhill and go. So they tied plays together, I thought, in a very nice way. And because they're under center, to our point and the point you just make, there you go. There's more things you got to think about when you're underneath center, all right? And, you know, the Jets, it's not like, again, if he gave the ball up the middle, as you could see here, they got him gashed. You know, the Jets have been getting pushed around up front the last few weeks. It's a little disappointing. They kind of got off to a good start early in the year. I know they're a little banged up there. But if he does give the ball, holy cow, he's got it. He's got that too, right? But either way, just a good little wrinkle. Isaiah McKenzie on the edge. He's too fast for C.J. Mosley. And it's an easy touchdown for the Buffalo Bills, and now they're going to be up 24-3.
You missed a chance to say jet sweep against the Jets.
Jet sweep against the Jets.
Yeah.
Boom.
Of course, I said it was a pass.
Yeah,
so
it's all right.
My failure trumped your failure.
It's all right.
There.
But again, they've gashed them with this run a little bit already. It was just the right time to call it, and it didn't necessarily fool them. It might have got, you know, again, as I sit here and look at it, I don't think it even really got C.J. Mosley to, like, slow down a whole lot here. But I think he underestimated the speed of McKenzie turning the edge there, and that was a touchdown.
See it one more time.
Yeah,
Just
sure.
Respect to the timing of the mesh here. Didn't even have to slow down. I mean, this is perfect.
When I saw it watching film, I did not know Isaiah McKenzie had the ball the first time.
Yeah.
I was going, wait. And then I saw, like, Moss stand up, and I was like, oh, wait, they gave it to McKenzie. It was perfect timing there.
I mean, from the time the ball was snapped till it was securely in his belly it's outstanding.
They got to start doing this type of stuff. First off, he's a weapon. They need to incorporate him in. He's one of the few guys in the offense other than Diggs that can make more out of less. You could throw him a slant route, and he can get 40 yards. You can give him a speed sweep. He can turn the corner, you know? And what are we going to see this week? I mean, I think we're going to end up seeing this week, you know, with Buffalo, you're going to see this same thing, right? And you're going to see fake the speed sweep, fake the play action, and they're going to run cross or poster, and you're going to see a few plays off of that, and they're going to grow it. I would be shocked. That's usually what Daboll does. But again, I just like the approach of this game, and to me it gives them a greater chance of success for a lot of different reasons, and we're going to hit a few more here in a second.
Yeah, extra point made it 24-3.
Right.
Still early third quarter, and I know this one is a pass because I remember it, to Gabriel Diggs for 49 yards.
Yep, Gabriel Davis, all right, as you messed up another play. All right.
Pete, this says Diggs.
Well, Pete's, you know.
I should have known. I'm like, Diggs.
But here you go again.
Diggs is not Gabriel.
Here you go again. Like what's cool here is the tying of plays together once again, all right? So we're going to get pulling guard. We didn't see this last week of these play action fakes.
Looks like a run right there.
Right. So right now you're thinking, and of course they're starting to run it little by little. So they're starting to be conscious of it. And, you know, we get the beautiful, what do we got, Paul? It's quarters. It's quarters coverage.
Yep.
We got a post route coming.
There it is.
We got a post route. Now, there's two reasons I also love, like, one, play action pass, as we know, is a great way to get aggressive plays down the field. The other thing that I think people always miss, in my opinion, and I've talked about this with Kyler Murray, and of course it holds true to Josh Allen and the Mahomes of the world, what I always love is the space it gives a quarterback that can move around and make plays behind the line of scrimmage. See, play action pass gives the ability and gives the quarterback space to, you know, step on the pocket, move, get out of the pocket, either way. And then, of course, it compromises coverages and people find ways to sit in there and it becomes scramble drill, but it becomes hard to defend. And that, to me, is another reason why I would definitely do play action pass with Josh Allen, because we know how dangerous he is at all of the things I just said, all of the above. All right, so, again, perfect pocket. Now, why is that? I mean, again, you could see it's hard to rush the passer. I mean, just look at 50. He's worried about, look at him. He's worried about the pulling guard. He's looking at him. All right, now he starts to realize, and now he goes upfield, but the rest of the guys over there, they're all playing run here at first. They don't know what the hell's going on. So it's hard to just tee off on Josh Allen and rush the passer. And there we got it.
Nice job climbing the pocket.
Yeah, it climbs the pocket perfectly. You know, I don't know exactly what this safety is looking at, why he doesn't gain any depth, because he's got no reason. I guess he's worried he might run some sort of in-cut, which was what he would be responsible, but he's slow to kind of recognize it, and Gabriel Davis goes right over the top of him, and it's a perfect throw by Josh Allen, and another big play, and the Bills' offense was rolling.
There's our 3 examples there, the Bills.
Yeah.
I had grammatical errors on 2 of the 3. That's not a very good percentage.
That's okay. You were like the Bills versus Jacksonville, not the Bills versus the Jets.
You can always bounce back the next time. So Bills against Colts. What are you expecting there?
The Colts defense, a little struggling lately. I mean, it hasn't been the best.
Offensively, they've been good.
I know. They've had their moments. They definitely have. You know, what I look at, I think, with the Colts, first off, I will always say, I don't think they stay patient enough with the run game. I would even hold that true to last week against Jacksonville. There's a damn bug flying around me.
He was on my side before. I sent him over there.
Jeez.
Yeah.
The Colts match up with the Bills. You know, to me, what the Colts can do with the Bills a little bit is, you know, the Colts can push you around on the offensive line, kind of like Tennessee did to the Bills earlier. And then they have enough of a passing game to where if you just overplay the run, they will hit some plays down the field. So that's where I could see it being, you know, a dicey game maybe for the Bills defense, a little tougher than some games we've seen them had to play this year. It's the number 1 defense in football. You know, as far as the other matchup there, the Colts defense for me is very hard to figure out. It is. It's kind of all over the place this year.
We thought it was going to be pretty good.
I know, and then it kind of went through a little spell of like not looking so good. I know they got on the right track last week against Jacksonville, but Jacksonville, I don't think much of them offensively. I would think this is going to be a close one. You know, I got to see another game of Buffalo functioning at a high level on the offensive side of the ball for me to just sit here and go, boom, they got it. You know, again, this was a good start. I like it. It's still a lot of Josh Allen relying on him making big plays and do that to a degree. But this is better. To me, it gives them a fighting chance. You know, I guess I'm leaning Bills.
Sounds like it, yeah.
I'm leaning Bills. But I could see the Colts making this very close and interesting. One mistake by the Bills or anything like that, and we could have a real close, maybe upset type game.
Bringing us to the Under Armour read.
Oh, bam. Here I go. Thank you very much.
See,
I'm not in the sheets here. Here we go.
There you go.
All right. We are supported by Under Armour. Just like us, Under Armour wants to give you an edge. They are focused on performing better and taking their game to the next level, like Paul will do next week when he reads things the right way. Everything from running shoes that propel you forward to hoop shoes that give you insane grip. They even make hoodies that reflect energy. We're not just about the end result, winning or glory. Under Armour is about the hard work, the dedication, the cycle of training, competing, and recovering. We give you advantages, but not shortcuts. The only way is through. Thank you, Under Armour, as always, for the sponsorship. I think I got the sneakers, too. I got the sneakers coming to me from Under Armour. They're officially here. So
now
next pod, I'll have them on for sure.
You're gonna wear them?
I'll throw them on, definitely.
Okay.
No doubt about it.
I had Under Armour. I travel with it to all the Notre Dame games. A long sleeve. It's perfect because it was freezing down at Virginia this weekend.
Yeah.
I just throw that on under the coat. And I'm all good.
They got that stuff they make is phenomenal.
Didn't
Top
have the
notch.
Under Armour shoes on.
Right.
But the undergarment.
Well, we'll see. Maybe we'll let you do a read next week, and if you can go through it reading it the right way, maybe they'll send you a free pair.
I feel like after my performance with the Bills plays, I don't have confidence.
You're not sure about that?
Yeah. I have one more chance here, though. We have one more team to get through.
Yeah, one more good one here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Buccaneers offense.
Yeah.
What's the deal? 29-19.
Yeah.
And I think we have this as a feature here, and we ask the question not because it was one game.
Sure.
Because now this is two in a row where it's lesser than what we've come to expect.
Well, yeah, definitely lesser than what we've come to expect. You know, Tampa's got some they're missing a few weapons. They are. There's no doubt about that.
And all these good teams, as we talked about an hour ago, are kind of allowed. I feel like they're allowed this year to have a little stretch.
A little slow part, no doubt about it. Brady hasn't played the best. I mean, we've seen him make some mistakes. He did not play good in this game. In fact, I would say this was worse than the Saints game. The Saints game, man, he made a number of outstanding plays and throws too. This game, what I didn't love about it was got hit a little early, and he became check down Charlie, kind of like, I'm just going to get the ball out of my hands here. Left a lot of plays and yards on the field. Bruce Arians, I believe, even alluded to it, you know, during the week in one of the press conferences that I didn't even realize. All right, cool. Let's play it.
We got to protect our quarterback better early in the game. and maybe we'll take some shots down the field like we normally do when he's protected. But if he's getting hit a bunch early, he ain't hold on to it very long. I don't know when it does. There were a couple, 2 or 3, that we maybe could have held on to it and thrown it down the field. But in a game like that, knowing the coverage that we're getting, throw it underneath and get on to the next play and make sure we get 5 or 6 and play it that way. Teams want to make us, everybody's trying to take that away. And we know that. So it's going to be hard to get down the field.
Very interesting. He basically said Tom gets hit early. It affects him later in the game.
It affects him. It did. And this one really showed. There's no doubt about it. And again, we know that you can't be perfect. Brady's amazing. He's 45. Gosh, there's got to be some flaw in the human being, right? Here's one of them.
Yeah.
This is it. And again, when it gets like that too, as we've talked about and things I say, he's not going to make plays off schedule. That's not who he is. Them missing Antonio Brown. See, I think 2 things. First off, they haven't been able to get the run game going to an extent to bring the defense up. That's to me when they were at their best last year.
December and January.
Right. They could overpower you enough with the running game to bring you up. And then they had a lot of great ways to let's protect Brady now, keep Gronk in, don't let him go downfield. We got a 6 or 7 man protection, and Brady's going to throw perfect passes down the field wherever we want him to throw it. So they don't have that aspect. And, even to see, if you got Gronk and AB out there too, the other aspect was, and even early in the year, teams wanted to play coverage and stop the big plays then too, but you start to die a slow death. Oh, okay, yeah, we're playing coverage, but they hit Antonio Brown in the slot for 6 yards, and he runs 10 yards. Oh, shit, okay, 16-yard gain. We didn't take away the big play, but they're getting 16 yards. Oh, now they got AB and Evans running deep shots, and now it's Chris Evans in a hole in the zone, and he throws it to him for 7 yards, and he runs up 10 yards more. So we took away the big shot, but we gave up 17 yards. So that's where, when they're at full strength, even when you take away their big shots, they still move the ball. They're not at full strength right now.
Right.
So that's affecting it, not running the ball as well. And they've played 2 defensive lines the last 2 weeks who can get in Brady's face.
I think all those things that you pointed out there, Chris, kind of set up where we're going here before we watch the film. Brady's passes downfield in this game, not what we were used to seeing.
No.
So you take a look at the chart, and we're used to seeing, Brady's not afraid. He's never been afraid to check it down, but these last few years, he's been throwing it downfield quite a bit.
As good as anybody in the game.
Exactly.
Right.
That wasn't around a lot on Sunday against the team.
No, and to back to what Bruce Arians says, you see here, gosh, completions, there's only one at 15 yards. There's a 14-yarder down the middle, right? Everything else is, a bunch, yes, on the left side, but everything's 10 yards and below. Oh, and then he hits a 25-yarder on the right side that I missed. So that was the only explosive throw of the day.
What role did Washington play in kind of limiting what he was doing
there?
Well,
I think, they played coverage, did a good job. Washington has finally stopped going our front four will just dominate, and we'll just play some simple coverages, and we won't mess up. They've become a little more complicated on the defensive side. Had a few nice timely blitzes just here and there, just a smattering of it, because you can't blitz Brady over and over. He's going to figure it out and start to gash you that way. So just a smattering of it, which is just right with them. But I think the big thing more than anything was just early in the game they did hit him, and it affected him. And I think Bruce Arians, honestly, he's being nice by saying, I wish there was 2 or 3. I would probably say, Pete, I don't know. How many did I show you last night on film? I'm going to say 6 or 7, 7 or 8, where you go, this 20-yard gain. It's a 15-yard gain. It's a 30-yard gain. And he never gives it a chance. He just gets it out of his hands and throws to Leonard Fournette.
I think that the best example, if you want to get up, the interception.
Yeah. Oh.
That he was looking for Mike Evans, and I watched this live.
Right.
Chris, I've watched it a couple times, and his body language, his rhythm and mechanics in the pocket are just way different than what you normally see on this pick.
No doubt about it. And this to me is not the check down part. He's not looking short here. He's trying to be aggressive, but he's been truly hit hard a few times already at this point. So he's not feeling comfortable in the pocket. And again, he gets a little pressure here, but the pressure does affect how he wants to throw the football and, maybe the reading of the throw altogether. All right. And, with this one right here, okay, let me just stop it here. He's got O.J. Howard running a go. He's got him on an out route. He's got crosser by Mike Evans, and I believe Godwin runs the in cut behind it. Okay. And you could see it's a 5-man pressure, right? They're pushing the pocket pretty good, but it's not horrible. It's not horrible right yet. It's not. But we got to take into account, I don't care who you are, like Bruce Arians says, when you've been hit like he had a few times, you start to get a little jumpy in the pocket. And to me here, instead of maybe holding the ball just for an extra second, or like Brady you've seen before with that cocky bounce in his step to just be like, wait, I can hold this for a half more second and let the guy clear. He's a little conscious of it right now. He's gotten crushed a few times. He doesn't like it. So as it gets close, he's going to try to pull the trigger here to throw to Mike Evans over the middle, and Mike Evans isn't even going to be open on the other side. He's going to try to make a very, very tough anticipatory throw out the back door of the linebacker, and there's a safety over here too. And it's down the middle of the field, and it's just dangerous to be able to try to throw an anticipatory throw like that. Like that word I'm spitting out of my mouth there?
I do like that one.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to do that down the middle of the field. But he has been a little affected. Look, he doesn't really even step into this throw. I understand there's people there. What I would say is like, hey, maybe the Mahomes or Rodgers or Josh Allen, when they're on their game, in these type of moments, he probably could have patted the ball one extra time and still just stayed where he was and waited for Evans to clear 55. Or, you bounce back just a little just to give yourself a hair more room to throw it. That's what, a Rodgers or an Allen or somebody like that would have done.
He looked unsure as he was releasing this. Yeah.
Doesn't really have conviction like throwing the ball. Like I said, he doesn't really step into it, and we're throwing like a 20-yard crossing route basically. And he's trying to throw it, like I said, like, here we go. He's already in the throwing motion, and you're just going to have to take my word for it. Mike Evans hasn't cleared that middle linebacker. It's just a very high degree difficulty to throw. Listen, Tom Brady's done it before. I know that, but he's not going to do it every time. And he misses the throw completely. I didn't read the coverage wrong. He saw what he saw, but right here, he's throwing the ball. And he's trying to throw it perfect, like right over here. And as you can see, he's got a safety bearing down, and he hasn't cleared this guy yet. So to be able to throw that ball without kind of seeing him clear the other side, very tough, and boom, interception. So that was a big moment in the game, of course, because that makes it ends up making it 13-0. It was 6-0, and now it's a 2-score game, and of course that always changes the dynamic of things.
All right, halfway through the second quarter, still 13-0, and I think another example here of Brady getting rid of the ball maybe when he doesn't have to.
Yeah, 100%. It's four-man pressure, right? They got it picked up, all right? They got a little route combination of let me just make sure I got it right on top here. Just want to make sure I got everybody in the right way. Okay, good, I do. All right, so it's Fournette here, O.J. Howard behind it, this guy out here. Generally, this concept here is for a shell defense, 2 deep, quarters, not for a single safety defense. And that is what they're getting here. It's a single safety defense. And where I want to go, to me, and this is, again, I'm trying to show one play that shows examples of 3-4 others that are just like this, let alone we're going to show a few others that are off of play action that are like this. You can see there's a safety. Look, he's on the right hash, right? All right, what I want everybody to watch here, first off, this coverage is for this right here. It's the thing we talked about with New England. It's hitch on the outside, seam route down the middle. And they're going to ask Fuller to try to stop the seam route. Well, they're not coached by Bill Belichick. They don't do it the right way, all right? Mike Evans, is going to run scot-free down the middle. And Brady, that I know on his game, hits that 99 out of 100 times, and Mike Evans is going to walk into the end zone or get down to the 2 or 3 yard line. Because Fuller on the outside pauses a little with the short route, and he gets no jam. Nobody gets a jam on Evans, and he just gets to run 4-4 right up the middle of the field. But Brady's already made his mind up. It's 1st and 10, and that was the other thing. It was a lot of this on 1st and 10. I'm going to get a completion and get us in a good spot. That's fine. But you take the risk of that, of you're going to turn down a touchdown for a 6-yard completion, and there's no guarantee you're going to get the touchdown a few plays later. And that's what happens. Instead of maybe now the game being 13-7 or the ball being on the 2 or 3 yard line, yeah, they get the completion. It's 2nd and 5 or whatever. but they got getting a field goal in this drive. To me, they left points on the board, let alone Pete will tell you there's 2 or 3 plays after this on this drive where he does the same thing a little bit, where you just go, man, he's quick to get the ball out of his hands. There's nobody near him. Why do it? So that was certainly a reoccurring theme throughout this game. And, like I always said, he didn't maximize the points and yards that were there to be had in this football game, in my opinion.
One more example I believe is going to fall under kind of the same idea.
Definitely.
Late third, it's now 23-13, 1st and 10.
Yeah, late third, 23-13. It's going to be like Evans go route. Chris Godwin's going to come down here. He's going to end up being out of the screen. And he's wide open. Wide. I mean, nobody within 10 yards of him. But Brady's going to run it, make a little play action fake and set up, and you're going to see here, he never even looks downfield. He turns around and just throws it to Leonard Fournette. And I think this is, again, what Bruce Arians was talking about. Like, there was just a few plays where, I mean, there's no way he could even read the coverage right here. I mean, look, first off, you tell me. Could he read the coverage this quickly? I know he's Tom Brady. Head's turned around. He just never even looks downfield. He's looking right here, right away. Right away. Yeah. There's never anything to look downfield.
And it's a nice, clean pocket, too.
It's a perfect pocket, but he's been affected by the hits and how he feels, and he's a little flustered. And what I can tell you again, and if anybody has NFL Game Pass, go look it up. 1st and 10, 1:36 left in the third quarter. I mean, you'll see. Chris Godwin is back here behind this for an 18, 20-yard gain. Nobody near him. Easiest throw Brady will make all day. He just got to throw it right through here. Perfect. He's wide open. They're going to be on fringe field goal territory. He's going to catch the ball, and he's going to get yards after that. There's nobody. But, again, this was the thing that happened all day. And, unfortunately, yes. Again, I don't know if it cost them points here. I can't say that it did. But it cost them the ability to get the ball in the field goal fringe area to where you get one more completion or one more run and you do get a field goal and the game's different.
No way to know. One more time, Pete? Yeah, Fournette had his most receptions ever as a Buck, so that kind of speaks to what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying.
No way to know what would have happened on that drive. But I think the point was made with those 3 plays, and also really amplified by what Bruce Arians said.
Yes,
that this happened throughout the game.
He couldn't have said it better for me. It's kind of what I thought when I was watching the game on Sunday. Mm-hmm. I thought, again, it's hard to watch when you're watching on TV, but there was a number of plays. I'm the kind of guy that. Yes, I watch the ball where it goes. When they show the replay or whatever, I don't look at the replay. I go, wait, what else was going on now? What coverage are they playing? Is anybody else open? And there was certainly some plays there to be had. Like Brady was 22 of 34 for 220. Like he should have been 23 of 34 for 320. Mm-hmm. I mean, at least. No doubt about it. But again, he was affected by that a little bit. I think he got a little too in the mindset especially on first downs, like, hey, I'm just going to get the ball out of my hand, get a completion, get us in a good spot. And I want to go, well, damn, you missed Mike Evans another time up the seam for it would have been a 30-yard gain. There was another play to Cameron Brate, that was like a kind of a seam route, post route down the middle where you go, I mean, I don't know. The Tom Brady I've known for the last, 15 games has striped that ball in there with perfection, and that just didn't happen this last week.
Next chance comes Monday night against the Giants. I'll steal your term, anticipatory.
Yeah, thank you.
What are you anticipating for that one?
Well, the Giants don't have that pass rush or the Saints pass rush. Now, they are really well coached and know how to play pass defense. I would think that, he'll get back on track and they'll be able to protect him enough to where he'll strike down the field a little bit more. What's also different about the Bucs right now is they're not as dominant on defense. They're not. We're seeing teams, because of their injuries at corner, and I know we still got Sean Murphy-Bunting out. Carl Davis is out. We're missing one other corner. I know Demps is back. Sherman's out. So they're missing some people there.
Yeah.
And they're getting nickel and dimed in the passing game. Just like if you look Heineke's stats, it's a lot of 10 and 12
I think
and
he was
8.
26 out of 32.
So exactly right. Just high percentage, easy completions because, like, right now, Todd Bowles can't be as aggressive on the defensive side of the ball because he doesn't trust the coverage all the way. there's that, and then the pass rush isn't quite the same right now. So they're going through a little bit of a struggling point that, we haven't seen them go through in a while.
Bringing us to something where I'm glad this has stuck for the second week in a row.
Yeah,
it is
it's
the
here to
play
stay.
of the f***ing day.
Yeah, the play
Do
of
we have music
the
or
day.
anything yet?
I don't think so.
No? Just us swearing?
If we had a real producer, we might have music.
Come on, Pete.
No, I'm joking. Pete, I honestly I want Pete to have a mic for this show.
So everybody can hear him instead of just us?
Instead of like sometimes, because I
he
forget.
should come out and sit right here sometime.
He should be that
Pete,
guy.
is it in your contract, Pete, that you can't be seen? Yeah.
Well, he says pretty much, but I would like him to be able to where we can hear him. So when I ask a question, he can answer it,
Right.
and I don't have to relay it to the audience. I think we should work on
Pete,
that.
can we make that happen, Kristen?
We can look into it.
Okay.
Right. All right, here we go.
So play the f***ing day.
Yeah.
I think Pete opened it up to the homies to say what they like the best.
We got the homies, the homettes, everybody involved here.
I'm so glad this one came up because I think I got off the couch and cheered with this play on 4th and 6. Empty backfield. We're just throwing it.
We're just
Loved
throwing
it to Deebo Samuel.
I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I was going, punt the ball. I was. Of course,
What's the situation?
I'm rooting for my
24/7.
friend Kyle Shanahan.
He was fired up. He was feeling it. Right?
He obviously was. I mean, it's either up 17 points. It's the fourth quarter. The Rams haven't done jack diddly squat on offense.
Yeah.
I think Pete will know. I think I sent it to the group text. I sent a group text to our PFT show. I was like, punt the ball, Kyle. And, of course, they score a touchdown.
Yeah.
So that proved to be the right decision. But you got an empty set by the 49ers, all right? Empty set, and we got a combination coverage by the Los Angeles Rams. They're basically playing man to these two guys right here, all right? And then on the top here with the 4 defenders, they're going to get into like something we talked about last week, boxing the bunch. Remember that?
Yeah.
So he's got short middle, he's got short outside, he's got deep outside, he's going to have deep middle, right? So they're basically just going to play 4-on-3 against those 3 guys right there. Now, what I don't like, first off, on these type of situations, 4th and 5, we got a 5-man rush. I hate it. I hate that. They're going to throw the ball here. There's no back in the backfield. They don't run quarterback draws with Jimmy Garoppolo. So why do we have a 5-man rush?
Ruining his day 2 days later.
Why do we have Von Miller and Leonard Floyd and Aaron Donald if we're going to rush 5? What was the point of getting them then?
You're not paying those guys that much, are you?
$9,700 million, and we need one other guy to get one-on-one matchup. No. I want a guy back in coverage in the middle of the field. Do something else. They're throwing the ball. It's stupid. And I don't know, Pete, do we have any stats there to talk about their five-man rush or kind of anything? Because to me it happened too much in the game. I know they had to stop the run and they were having issues with that. But, like, this is a situation that, yeah, I just don't like it. I really don't. And what you'll see here is Kittle stays in the block, all right? And they're going to work Deebo Samuel right down the middle of the heart here. So they got a little combination up top. Let me see if I get this right. Out route, corner route, and then him coming across the middle. And I think this is Reed, the middle linebacker of the inside of the box of the bunch. He's reading the quarterback eyes. He's got to have he doesn't see anything cross in front of his face, so nothing brings him this way because they're all behind him. He's got to have a little bit more of a field to kind of protect the middle of the field. But Garoppolo does a great job of kind of just like little stutter step in the pocket just to make sure he doesn't get hit by Aaron Donald as he's throwing the ball and hit a disaster.
He's been playing pretty well.
He's been playing pretty good. There's no doubt about it. He's playing plenty good for them to win football games and throws an absolute strike right down the middle. Right? So, again, I don't know. If we're rushing 4, I have a hard time thinking we're going to play that coverage and we can maybe have an extra guy in coverage. I don't love that, but this was certainly a gutsy call, an unbelievable throw, and this guy's insane.
Oh, my gosh.
Like, I'm mad at myself for not giving him more respect. Yeah. I really am. He's a weapon. He is a weapon. All the ways they use him. He's got 3 rockets up his ass. I know. Yeah. I mean, he's amazing. He's definitely one of the 5 best receivers in football, and we never talk about him that way. And shame on me for that.
Just one more note on the Rams rushing 5 there. I think it was last week when we showed that defense where it was the free safety was playing center field, and they also had the robber in the middle of the field because they didn't rush 5. That 5th guy could play I mean, is there not a more perfect team to play that against the Niners? I mean, this is where they throw all their passes in the middle of the field.
Thank you. I said this, on the PFT show on Tuesday. I just go, first off, the whole game has been throws over the middle.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
Like, it's all they do.
Yeah.
The whole season. Jimmy Garoppolo's all his 4 years in San Francisco. They never throw the ball outside the numbers. Like, and this is McVay and Raheem Morris, who are supposed to know Kyle Shanahan. I even wrote in my notes after watching the game, I was like, apparently they don't know him, apparently, because they let him throw the ball short over the middle the whole game.
Yeah.
And that I don't understand, let alone on the other side of the ball, they did the a little bit of like, well, this is what we do, and we're just going to do it against their defense. And, like, you don't even attack the below-average 49ers corners? They don't throw balls outside the numbers to take advantage of that? We've seen teams do that to them all year long. Like, to me, they just let them off the hook in a lot of ways in this football game. And the Rams, definitely have lost their mojo a little right now.
And you can sum that up perfectly with this question from @BurnUnit. What the happened to the super team Rams?
Yeah, their defense has gotten better as the season went along. It's a tough matchup for them because they're not a big defense. They're a speed defense. They are. They're all about speed and chaos. So it can cause some issues. But when they play teams that can be big and overpowering, and have a little athleticism up front, it can give them issues.
Yeah.
And the 49ers are that. So I think that's, it's a tough matchup from that standpoint. Stafford is off a little bit. There's no doubt. He's been off. I mean, he's even some of the completions he threw in this game where you just go, man, it was complete, but he didn't give him the best chance to run after the catch. And, again, Tyler Higbee, he couldn't catch a cold running bare ass through Alaska. Van Jefferson drops a touchdown pass. I mean, they go for a fake field goal on 4th and 7 or 8. Just make it 21-10, please, and go into halftime.
But
go ahead.
2 games.
Yeah.
I mean, you look around the league. We talked about this an hour and a half ago.
Yeah.
All these good teams are facing these stretches.
Yeah.
2-game blip. They're fine. They're too good to hang around in here?
Yes.
Or are you concerned?
No, I'm not. They're too good to hang around here. I would think this is going to get better. The bye week comes right at the right time. Hey, Stafford shot his own team in the foot in the Tennessee game with the 2 dumb interceptions that we showed last week, right? Yeah. This game, he throws the interception early to Odell Beckham Jr. It's not the worst. I mean, again, it was like a punt. I know it was 2nd down.
Right.
And Odell, I think, thought the guy was scrambling, and he turns out to the sideline. He didn't stop on the route and give up on the play. Let's not start a negative thing already when we don't even really know what happened. I didn't like that aspect of it. The second interception was a screen to Higbee.
Yep.
He let it go through his hands and popped it in the air. And then here's my last thing I'll say, too. So they're a little off is what I'm trying to say. There's no doubt. But the other thing, too, to this point, in a game like this where – they know maybe where we're a little undermanned. Their 49ers are healthy. Kittle's back. Trent Williams is back. Like, watch out. The 49ers are one of those teams that I do think still has the potential to be like, whoa, we got to January, and they got a lot of better around Thanksgiving to January.
Once again, one of these teams, a game or 2 below 500, the NFC is going to be there.
I think they got that potential. And the last thing I'll say about the Rams is this. Stop the 5-man rushes. I love Raheem Morris. I love Sean McVay. I'm speaking to them directly here. Stop the 5-man rushes. You got 3 super freaks on your D-line. So they got to win. All right? They got to win by themselves. The other thing I'm going to add on top of that is they're paying a corner $20 million a year, and he's playing zone every play. Stop. What made them great last year on defense was they would put Ramsey, not every play, but a good amount of the game, especially the second half of the year, on an island. You got DK Metcalf. And now we're going to do all this other crazy shit with the other 6 guys in coverage.
Is that what Baltimore does with Humphrey?
They do it a lot. They probably do it too much, maybe. But that, to me, is you're not paying a $20 million a year for a guy to go into this zone and go into this area. No. Getting some of these 3rd downs, have them match up with Deebo Samuel, and do some other crazy shit, whether it is to stop the run or coverage. To me, that's where they're dropping the ball right now, and hopefully – week off, bye week, teams self-scout themselves. This is the week they do it, and hopefully that's something they can look at and go, we can adjust that.
Week 10 fired you up, man.
Woo! What, do they ever? Any of the weeks don't fire me up?
It's true. It's a good point.
I mean, shit. I got a red ass. I really do, apparently. I really do. Holy crap.
There's a show.
Yeah. There's a show. That's a show, as Paul would say.
That's the one.
Yep, that's it. What the happened Wednesday? I think we did it in about an hour and 40 minutes per the usual. Hope everybody enjoyed. Please keep sending in the questions. I love it.
Yes, yeah,
Hope we gave you
good.
guys all a good look or a synopsis, the cliff notes of what went on in some of these games that were such shockers this past weekend. And always appreciate the questions, the listeners.
Keep
and
them
Paulie,
coming.
you the man.
Always fun.
That was Chris Simms Unbuttoned, presented by Under Armour. We always appreciate Under Armour, too. Peace out, homies. Check you out next week. Paulie B, you the man. Thanks, buddy.
Under Armour shoes coming.
Oh, baby.
Yeah. It's always good.
Yo, what's up? Come on, man. Subscribe on YouTube to Chris Simms Unbuttoned Podcast. I need you. Please hit the subscribe button, please.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.